Okay, people, today's going to be kind of an experiment. I'm going to give something a go, see what happens, you know? I don't know where this is going to go. Essentially, I'm going to use this show, series, whatever, to kind of pick up where the reviews left off. I'm going to quickly recap some of the reviews I've done over the past week, and then I'm going to go over some stuff that may be older, maybe not as time sensitive, may have been sitting in the fat stacks of toys for way too long. Or stuff that I don't feel needs 10 or 15 minutes of me rambling about it. I've had people comment that I may go on a little too long on some action figures, some reviews, some news, whatever. So I'm going to try to use this to keep from doing that. I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it not concise. I'm still going to ramble a little bit, but I'm going to try to keep it to each figure, you know, under a certain amount of time, a couple minutes at the most, hopefully. And this is happening because of a couple reasons. Tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary of me getting out in front of the camera. Yeah, I apologize for having to look at this for the past year. But I got nostalgic. That's why the background, I'm going to keep it green. I'm not going to do any kind of green screen work on the back. If you remember back to before last summer, for several years, I used a green background for my reviews. So, kind of going back to that, but it's not bright-ass, ugly green in your face. Plus, it kind of goes with the theme of this new series of less work involved. Just get it out there, get some thoughts on the channel, and move on. Get to other figures. The other reason is I can't keep up. I buy so many toys, and this is going to sound very douchey. You know what I mean? I buy way too many toys, and I just can't get to them all at the same time. I just have too much stuff. I don't mean for it to come out douchey. I just mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there coming out now. Stuff I like, stuff I want to buy. And for some reason over the past year, I've programmed myself to not open toys unless I'm in front of a camera, blurting out thoughts, just bleh. It's been a while since I've just opened toys, enjoyed them. And I said I was going to do that about a couple of action figures on the last weekly, and it didn't happen because I went to open it and I thought, I have to film something about this. I mean, it's just cool to get the thoughts out there. I love doing this, if you can't tell. I love getting out and just talking about action figures. So hopefully this is what this is going to be. So I'm going to start this series to keep everything condensed. Now, just explaining it probably went on too long. So let's get to the recaps and then some other figures that I feel like, should I put them on the shelf or should I keep them to myself? Do they go into the display or do they go onto eBay? It's terrible. I'm going to call this series Fwoosh Figure or Fodder. Triple F. I was going to call it Figures You Can Keep, but I'm not going to do that for obvious reasons. Going through the recaps real quick, the Praetorian Guard from Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series. Very surprising figure. It's going on the shelf for now. Figure Arts has their version coming at the end of the month. May knock it off. But what Hasbro did here, very impressive for the design from the movie. The Bandai Figurized Dragon Ball Z, Goku, and Krillin model kits. Dug the hell out of these figures, but I found out afterwards that these are actually brighter colors in the deluxe pack than they are in the single packs. Apparently this is them powered up. I think now that I have them standing on the shelf, standing next to Super Saiyan Goku and Gohan, the skin tones don't quite match up. But they're going on the shelf for now, at least until I reach a time where I don't have anything else to buy. I'll grab the singles and hopefully the skin tones will match up a little bit better. And then finally, Hasbro's Star Wars The Black Series GameStop exclusive Snoke with Throne. It wasn't until I was uploading this video that I heard about a lot of people getting delay emails on their orders. I don't know why I got mine. I was standing in a parking lot on Force Friday ordering from GameStop as soon as they went up. I don't know if that mattered or not. It's a nice piece. I love the throne. It is large. It's going to take up a lot of shelf space, but I feel like I will never need another Supreme Leader Snoke. At least until they change his design in the next movie. Plus, there's too much comedy to be had here. Goldmember, Buffalo Bill, Arseface. It's just endless fun with this figure. Now, moving on to new stuff, I did open up the Star Wars Black Series Kylo Ren from The Last Jedi to take pictures with Snoke. I do like Kylo's new design for the next movie. It's more regal, but at the same time, it affords him more moving around. The skirt doesn't hang all the way down to his feet. It doesn't want to get in the way of articulation here. It's just very knightish. I guess you could say. Having seen the trailer now, I see that the scar on his face isn't quite right. It's got some kind of healing tabs, metal something below his face, or it's there permanently, whatever. Either way, the figure does not have that. But it is going on the shelf for now. Figure Arts has their version coming out in December. May knock it off. You never know. Potential fodder here. Next up, to take a quick look at the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Walgreens exclusive Spirit of Obi-Wan. And talking about the package for just half a second, I don't know if I have some kind of subconscious want to see a different kind of package for the Star Wars Black Series, but I'm loving this blue. It's not quite as striking. It doesn't turn your head when you're looking at it in the store, but yeah, seeing it, it's a nice change. It's more subtle. But the figure out of the package, it's just the Obi-Wan cast in translucent material with some paint on it and this weird, funky 70s sci-fi robe, skin-tight Lady of the Night thing going on. I don't know what's happening with this. I just know that I do not like it at all. It doesn't lay right, it doesn't sit right, it doesn't look right, it doesn't do anything right, really. But you take it off, and it improves the figure 95%. I could totally use this Obi-Wan as the ghost version from Dagobah in Return of the Jedi. The donut glaze over the whole thing kind of throws it off. It makes it look kind of metallic, but it does work. I would have liked to have seen more of a dull sheen for the painted parts. But when it comes down to it, I think I'm going to keep my third-party Spirit of Obi-Wan on the shelf, at least for now. No articulation, it just looks better, and I have a matching Anakin Skywalker and Yoda to go with it. So Obi-Wan goes in the drawer for now. Moving on to a figure that I bought a case of, but never got around to opening, and that's the Marvel Legends Thor Ragnarok Thor. Getting him out of the package, very, very nice. I like it. It's got the nice photo-real face going on. It looks semi-realistic. But going back to Hela and Loki, the cape, it doesn't really do anything for me. It likes to pop out of the shoulder, fall off. They did some forward thinking here of putting the left shoulder pad on the bicep instead of the shoulder balls, so you can rotate it, you can get it up out of the way. But being where it is, it goes up and then it knocks the cape off. It's kind of a design flaw, I guess you could say. And then Thor without a hammer just throws me off anyway, but that's no fault of Hasbro's. They did a great job of sculpting the swords, sculpting the body. It looks like Thor from the movie. And something they did that I always gripe about, he's a dual-wielding sword guy now, apparently, and they gave him up and down hinges on both wrists. Way to go, Hasbro. That's really, really great. I dig that. He looks good with Loki from this same series, and it moves along the build for my Thor Ragnarok Hulk. But at the same time, we've seen pictures of the figure arts, which looks a little bit skinny, and we've seen great pictures, and I've seen it in person at San Diego, of the Mezco 112th Collective, Thor and Hulk from this movie. And I don't know if the Marvel Legends will be able to compare, but for now, it's going on the shelf. Keeping with the Marvel Legends for a minute, and moving on to the Marvel Knights series Blade. This is the last figure I needed to open. I reviewed the rest of the series, and I guess I'm just not a big fan of Blade. At least this version. I like the movies, and the few appearances I've seen of Blade in comics I've liked, but to me, it was always the old official Marvel handbook where I like him in his 70s duds. That's what I want a figure of. But this does look good, considering the reuse. I do have a problem standing him straight up. I don't know why he wants to stand with his ass jutting out. I don't remember the Electro being like that, but it's also been a long time since I've messed with the Electro. The two heads, I understand that they represent two different versions, or well, two different eras of the character, even though the eras may be right together. But the heads just aren't different enough, at least for me, to justify having two heads. It's essentially a hairstyle change. And having the figure in hand, even though it's been a long time since I've held the original Marvel Legends movie Blade, this feels almost just like that figure. It's strange. I don't know if it's the bare arms or what. But when it comes down to it, he's going in the drawer. He's not going on the shelf. It's an okay figure. It's passable, but it just doesn't do anything for me. But Blade did finally allow me to finish off Man-Thing. My Man-Thing couldn't stand up straight. Nobody likes a Man-Thing. I'm not going to go any further with that. You've heard all the jokes. I will not stoop to that level. But man, my Man-Thing is impressive. The joints do feel a little bit rubbery, and even though I didn't have to put the hand on, the left hand likes to pop out on its own. But this figure is imposing, it's huge, it stands over the other figures. But it does have one downfall, and that's in the paint department. It's essentially just cast in the green color, and then has a wash over it. I would have liked to see different colors thrown in there, especially with the growth sticking out. There's some kind of mushrooms on his right thigh, That'd be awesome if that was brown. Even if it was more greens, just different shades of greens, giving it more depth, really bringing out the sculpt. I foddered the Toy Biz version a long time ago, a lifetime ago. It was too skinny and I thought I had a better use for it, and I don't even know where it is now. But as far as Hasbro's Man-Thing is concerned, it's going on the shelf. I'm loving this thing. And then finally, something I should have opened a long time ago. I lost faith in the Amazing Yamaguchi line with Venom. You've heard this before. I'm not going to get too much into it. But I had Spider-Gwen on pre-order. She came and I never opened it. Wolverine rolls around and restored my faith completely, so I was excited about getting Spider-Gwen open again, and I'm damn glad I did. Just an amazing figure. I was trying to keep this quick, concise, but I kept wanting to pose and take pictures and mess with. Now, her unmasked Gwen head sucks. I'm just gonna say it. It is freaking terrible. They had to make size changes to fit the face inside the hair, inside the hood. It just does not work. It looks like a tiny little head on a bigger body. But the masked heads, which there is 3 different options here, look great. It just works. And even the inside of the hood is sculpted. You can't beat that. Now, they did make some articulation changes here. I feel I've never had a Revoltech female figure before, but there's some ball joints involved instead of the standard, you know, swivel hinge swivel joints of other Revoltechs. It makes the learning curve a little bit steeper than you usually have to go through for the Amazing Yamaguchi line, but totally worth it. I mean, these poses that you can get this figure into, damn fine amazing. Damn fine amazing. That's a new term, I guess. Definitely going on the shelf here. She will look great along with Spider-Man, Deadpool, Wolverine, upcoming Captain America. This was the highlight of my day. So yeah, there you go. Quick, well, as quick as I'm able to talk about a toy. I'd love to talk about each one more in depth, but there's other figures to get to, more reviews to be done. And it makes me super happy to get these open and then my thoughts out onto the internet. If you like this new series show, it's not gonna be weekly, it's just gonna be whenever I get a stack. But I've got a few stacks right now. I've got some of the McFarlane Rick and Morty building sets. I've got more Legends. I've got more Star Wars Black Series. I've got some imports. Just stuff I haven't got to. Stuff that's old. So let me know if you like figure fodder. And for those of you who don't know what fodder is, I'm just making this longer and longer. I swear future episodes will be shorter. But if you don't know what fodder is, that means you want to take parts off of it to make customs, to make other figures, to make other characters. It's essentially spare parts. And before anybody asks, t-shirt came from Ripped Apparel. If it's not a Fwoosh shirt, it probably came from Ripped Apparel. So the first episode of Fwoosh Figure or Fodder in the can. Let me know if you like it. I'll catch you on Fwoosh.